Hey, I know I've been gone for a long time, but let me tell you something that I just learned on my hiatus. Hey, this is Chad with BeGoneForGood. We do videos all about adventure motorcycling, from the bikes we ride, the trips we take, the gear we use, tips, tricks, tutorials, anything under the sun that deals with adventure motorcycling, you're going to find on this channel. If that's the sort of thing you like, definitely hit the subscribe button, hit that thumbs up, let us know with any comments down there. All of it helps the channel and we really appreciate it. Today though, I want to get into something I learned after taking about a month off of making videos and riding in general, and what this means to me and just how important motorcycling is. And it's in a little segment I like to call Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Riding. So stay tuned. This is a ride I took and some of the thoughts that occurred to me while I was out there. So I apologize for the bad audio, but here it is.
So it's been a couple of weeks, almost a month, since the last video that I did, because I've been traveling, we've had family stuff, obviously it's summer, so it's just, schedules have gotten really, really crazy. And not only have I not been doing videos, but I haven't been riding. It's probably the first time I've been out on a bike in 3 weeks, maybe even the full 4 weeks, I'm not sure. But it's been a while. And I would argue it may even be the longest break I've taken since I started riding back in 2016, at the tail end of 2016. And something occurred to me, and I realized just how important this hobby of mine is, this lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, for a couple of different reasons. And I think one of the most important to my satisfaction in life is probably because of the almost meditative state that occurs when I'm on a bike. And that sounds super heavy and kind of super overloaded, but hear me out. So our day-to-day lives, whether you're working behind a computer, whether you're more hands-on, anything that you're doing has our attention pulled in 1,000 different ways. You know, social media doesn't help, the news doesn't help, families, especially if you have kids, doesn't help. And we have fallen into this place where we have to multitask and do a billion different things at the same time. And I'm just now understanding how ironic this video will be, and I'll tell you in a bit. But all of that kind of fades away when you get on a bike. And we have to almost solely focus on what's at hand in front of us, because the operation of the bike demands it, the kind of overall lack of a cage demands it. The endeavor itself is a focus tool and demands you kind of free your mind of a lot of extraneous thought, definitely of extraneous activity. It's not like there's not a lot of other things you could be paying attention to while you're on a bike and expect to be doing it for too long successfully. And I think there's something really centering about that process. There's something that's really great about focusing on a singular item in your life and just doing that for a little bit. It kind of calms the mind. I breathe better on the bike. I think better on the bike. All of those things kind of help out. It's one of those things I think almost the same as our showering does. I don't know if anybody else out there has, great ideas occur to them while they're in the shower, but I think part of the reason is because you separate mind and body, or you bring them into alignment, I guess would be a better way to put it. And I think the same thing is true on the bike, that you're doing an activity that your body kind of does naturally. It knows what it's doing. You feel the road underneath you. You lean the ways you need to be able to make a turn happen. It's innate. But then your mind joins along with it, and you can really focus on the things you're doing, whether that's scanning for new cars or any sort of traps or escape routes that you need, adversities ahead of you, things like that. And I think that provides a real calming element to what would otherwise be pretty busy and chaotic lives. And the crazy thing is that, I don't realize how much I miss that calming element until it's gone. And how good and therapeutic a ride can be. And I used to make fun of guys. I mean, again, I wasn't a rider until I was probably about 40 years old. And I used to make fun of guys that went out on Sundays. They're like, oh yeah, this is my cooling off. You know, this is how I decompress. And I was like, come on, you're just on a bike. Take it easy. And now I get it. I completely get it. There is something very elemental to getting on a bike and getting on the roads. And it's a ton of fun when it can't be easy, too. I mean, I've done the Mid-Atlantic BDR, which is about as easy of a BDR as you're going to find. Still some more difficult areas, but it only heightens those aspects. You get out to Utah, like on Lockhart Basin, which was easily the most difficult ride I've ever done. And all of that focus becomes even more narrow. You know, like I'm not listening to music when I'm on Lockhart Basin. I did when I was in the Mid-Atlantic. I wasn't conversing with anybody when I was on Lockhart Basin. I was when I was on the Mid-Atlantic, and I do obviously on the road all the time and shoot videos out here while I'm riding. Which is clearly the irony of the focus aspect, is that I'm going to shoot this video and be completely unfocused on my riding. But the most dangerous thing I could do on a bike is trying to shoot a video. But just so everybody knows, I'm taking a path I know well. I'm going out at a time where traffic is about as limited as it's going to be, so I'm trying to be safe while I do this, but if you hear screeching tires and the video cuts to black, just keep me in your thoughts and prayers. So, but there is something to that, and I think the fun of it is also that doesn't necessarily have to be there. It can be there, and it's great when it is there, and it feels great getting off the bike. But I also have a really good time when I'm on the phone while I'm on the bike, or while I'm listening to music while I'm on the bike, or if I'm just taking I just do slow maneuvers around my neighborhood and in my cul-de-sac, and I have a great time on the bike. So there's obviously more than just the focus aspect, but I do think that's a big factor in it. I think that's a big portion of it, and why this rises above a hobby and more into that lifestyle category, because it's something that I don't just do it for fun. I do it because it makes the rest of my life when I'm off the bike better. And I think that's, in that sense, it's a little bit like working out. It is a little bit like meditation. That the effects of me being on the bike last long after I've taken the helmet off. And for that, I'm extremely grateful to have this machine, to have this lifestyle that I've sort of fallen ass backwards into pretty late in life, and have really come to respect and appreciate in ways that I never really thought possible. It only helps that we're stepping into summer, and at 77 degrees out today, and with my armor on and my jersey, so my wind's blowing really well. Like, this is just beautiful out here. And that is another element of being on the bike that I think is often misunderstood or not recognized by people who aren't riders, is that I feel a connection to the environment on a bike that I never felt on a car. Even again, taking simple roads, places that I've done 100 times and that I know like the back of my hand, they're completely new and different on the bike. And I can't, again, I can take the most boring roads on a bike and still have a great time, because there's nothing around you on the bike. And I know that sort of seems kind of self-evident, but there's nothing getting in the way. There's no obstructions to your view. You can see everything in front of you. You can see up and down. I can look all the way down to my feet and see the road passing right underneath them. And I can look just to my left and see the wheels on the car next to me. And I can look all the way up and see the planes overhead. It's just the entire expanse of the environment you're riding in is around you and something that you can tangibly feel. And sometimes that's as simple as temperature changes and rainfall or hail or snow. It's the smells that you run across that sometimes will bleed to the inside of a car, but generally not nearly as impactful or as soon as they are on a bike. The feeling of wind changes and just all of it. It's like you are a part of the environment while you're riding in a way that you never can be in a car, and that makes riding a much more visceral experience. So it kind of lights up all those sensitive areas in your brain and on your body where you can feel everything that you're doing. A lot of the new cars today obviously also kind of deaden down the feelings of the road, which obviously a bike doesn't do either. So if you're in a BMW or a Lexus or a high-end Acura or things like that, the cars are made to cushion you and eliminate road noise and road feel so that you can be riding on a blanket of air type of stuff. And a bike does almost the exact opposite. Like, if I don't lean in a turn, I don't make that turn. And I think there's an experiential element to every moment on the road that you don't get in a car either, which makes the bike just that much greater. And so much fun to be a part of, even on short rides, even on small rides, even on common rides. It only gets better as you get into new and exotic areas, places you haven't been before, or places that demand a little bit more physically from you, like the Utah BDR or even the Mid-Atlantic BDR. It only heightens those experiences and makes being on a bike that much more fun. The other thing that I think pushes that even further is that as your environments change to be things that you do want to see. So for instance, I'm just on a city road right now. It's a road I've been on 1,000 times. I'm passing by schools and businesses and houses and things like that. So it's nothing really unusual or new to look at. It's stuff I've seen 1,000 times. But when you start getting to the traveling aspect of it and you're seeing things for the first time, or at least things that are sort of new because the weather has changed on you, or you haven't been there in a long time, or just different circumstances. The bike allows you to take the whole thing in. And this is one of the reasons also why I like standing on the bike. Because the minute I stand on the bike, even the limited stuff that's in my way now, like my windscreen or my handlebars or my mirrors, all disappear. And the minute I stand up, I've got nothing but the environment around me. I mean, I can still feel the handlebars, I can feel the tank between my legs and the pegs under my feet. But for all intents and purposes, I've become that kid back in second grade that when they said if you could have any superpower in the world, what would it be? I wanted to fly. Well, I get a chance to fly now. I get a chance to stand up and I get to see what it feels like to move through an environment with nothing around me. And I can look all around and see everything. And it's just, I mean, it's like magic. And I know I'm preaching to the choir here. Everybody who watches this channel has a motorcycle, has been on a motorcycle, knows these same feelings. But I'll tell you, I think it's nice to every now and again just recognize that initial joy we felt when we were on the bike, because it doesn't go away. Sometimes we require a little bit more. I mean, maybe it's kind of like a drug that you gotta get more in order to get that same feeling. But hell, if you're missing it, if you're not feeling it right now, take a month off, guys. It works. If you just put the bike away, I know a lot of the folks that listen to this channel, they're in cold weather places where you don't get a chance to ride from November or October through March or April. So I imagine every spring when that bike comes back out, you get that feeling all over again. And that's pretty awesome. That's a pretty amazing thing to be able to have available to you. So, I guess just recognize what a gift it is for us to be able to experience this stuff. Understand that you're not the only one out there that needs a ride to bring your body and your soul back to center. I get the same thing. It washes away a lot of the ills of my fast-paced, super crazy, discombobulated, nebulous life. And for that, I love it. I love it in a way that I've loved very few things in my life that I can do for 20 minutes and feel a noticeable impact. If I could feel this good from working out, I would look like Mr. Olympia. If I could feel this good from meditation, I would be I don't know, some guru somewhere in a yoga facility in Southern California. But sadly, this is about the only way I get that that enjoyment. So I just end up being a motorcycle guy. And I think I'm okay with that. Can't hope for much more than that. And I like it. That's my take on being on a motorcycle. Why it's great, why it feels good, why it continues to be a major joy in my life, and I hope it is for a long time for you as well. So if you have any questions, comments, things I missed, if you think that there are other joys on being a bike or being on a bike that I didn't capture, or maybe I just didn't think of while I'm out here because I'm trying to focus on not hitting somebody, definitely leave a comment down below. Honestly, best way you can help the channel is to leave a comment. I appreciate all the likes, I appreciate the subscribes, but commenting on the videos is tops. That does the greatest for us. So thank you for everybody who watched, and I hope to see you in the next one.
Those are my thoughts about riding and why I love this so much. In fact, I would say why it's important to me so much. It's not even that I love it, it's not even that I like it or that I have fun. It's that it's something that I need to do. It's something that sets me straight, gets me where I need to be going, and I very much appreciate both the ride and this channel and you guys pushing me a little bit further to do more. So thank you very much for that. Also wanted to get a little reminder out to you. If you want to support the channel a little bit further, we have a Patreon page, different things that are there, different extras and elements that you can get from the Patreon page. And one of our supporters actually reached out to me with some info about a West Virginia route that a friend of his, Brian Holmes, is working on at Infamous ADV Routes. Now, go and check it out. It looks like an awesome ride. They got a bunch of different loops in there and different places that you can go, but infamousadvroutes.com is where you can go. Brian Holmes apparently is kind of the founder or creator of it, and it's just some extra riding you can do over here on the East Coast. It kind of runs similar areas as the Mid-Atlantic BDR, so if you want to be in that area, if you're like in the 1, 2, 3 area of the Mid-Atlantic BDR, you can probably catch some of this stuff also and have a really good time being off-road, on-road, and some really scenic areas. I love the fact that ADV riders are getting out there and cultivating these routes and then passing them along to other riders so we can just do more riding. It's fantastic. It's part of the reason why we're doing this. The community is fantastic, and any support for this channel is always greatly appreciated. So thank you very much, Jeremy and Brian, for getting together those routes. And if you're interested, definitely go ahead and check out that website. If you have any questions for me, leave a comment down below. Anything else that gets you really excited about motorcycles, leave that comment down below. Hopefully we'll get another one out to you later this week, and thanks for watching.